This is Deb Halfrich, hashtag RedheadedSheHulk, and this is a bespoke pitch to Daniel. Now, I'm not even going to try to say your last name, but I've just been introduced to your work through a connection on LinkedIn, which is my only social media platform. And let me tell you something. I am seriously going to have a debate with Reid Hoffman and get him to understand that Masters of Scale is truly one of the most heinous concepts I've ever encountered. Now, I've dedicated 6 years of my life to using LinkedIn, and let me tell you something, not a single penny has entered my bank account. And in fact, what happens is because everyone, well, we'll talk about LinkedIn later. Let me tell you about hashtag Wellbeing Philosophy. I am a degreed Carnegie Mellon philosopher. We are actually here on the campus in Pittsburgh. I spent my stimulus check to come to my alma mater, and not a single person in the philosophy department has taken 30 seconds to reach out to me, to have a conversation. You know, academic philosophy, it's went tech mad. Now, I have to admit, I have not listened to your podcast with Tristan. I am in a state of very little access to electricity. And I am certain, though, that based on just what's on your LinkedIn profile, if you take a look at my LinkedIn profile and then notice what's going on my website, notice what's going on my YouTube channel, what you'll see is that I am actually attempting to create stand-up philosophy. Now, Carnegie Mellon is well known as a tech university, but also, perhaps in some circles, much more well known as a creative, performing mecca. I'm going to marry the two. It's in my DNA. It's in my epigenetic environment. Let's get rid of that term DNA. This is precisely the kind of work that I want to do. Stand on a stage, have one of these standard stereotypical phrases come out and go, psh. The Genome Project has proven we're 68% like fruit flies. Where's the rest of it? It is all in all seriousness, the environment. We have got to start understanding that homelessness is not an individual problem. We have all of this agitation over paying a $15 minimum wage when it takes $40 an hour to live in any city in the US of hypocrisy. This is a civilizational level problem that needs wise feminine philosophy. And in fact, I'm self-styling myself as the she-Socrates of the 2020s. Amongst many other things. I am the she-Sherlock of human health. Now, how the men go about is solving murders and worrying about dead people. I'm trying to keep people alive. And I cannot get anyone to pay attention to me. This is precisely because we are a society that ignores the wise feminine. It in fact, debates that there even is such a thing. We are a society that judges people based on what they look like. We are a society that judges people based on a few initials after their name. What could be better than being one of the smartest humans on the planet right now with simply a bachelor's of arts? And in fact, we know that it is that being outside of organizations, outside of systems of thinking, is precisely the only way somebody right now can evolve our civilization. The whole paradigm of who we are, what our world is about, is faulty. Everything is frequency. And it takes a long time for me to bust paradigm after paradigm after paradigm. But in my head, it is perfectly clear and coherent that we are all interconnected, that we are beings of frequency, and that not only can I talk about it, but I've demonstrated it with my own body by losing 150 pounds in the 15 months after turning 50. The only reason I haven't lost all 200 homelessness. I am reaching out to you for patronage, mentoring, access to the media is basically what I need. I also would like to really find someone to help me get a performance venue, a small place. It's again, is we can custom build it. What I'm thinking is I do Socratic monologues, that's Standup Philosophy, and that I would do them on different topics and themes, and then part of the program would be igniting Socratic dialogue post me going off in my lovely way, and there is a methodology to my madness. I am entranced. Altered state of consciousness. Conversation does that to me. Why? Toxic mold exposure. As the hashtag RedheadedSheHulk, just like Bill Bixby, unfairness makes me fiercely intelligent. So I don't need to rage with green muscles. I rage with a brain that is ignited with a purpose and the feeling of having finally stopped living in a state of cognitive dissonance. Let me tell you something, when people can start being exactly who they are, and I call this self-truth, self-trust, and self-touch. This is how humans become coherent, is what's going on out there is literally all flawed, faulty, and fraudulent. What's happening in our body is the most fundamental truth of which we are aware. So yes, I have sorted the hard problem of consciousness into an easy pivot. Harmony, Daniel. I'm looking forward to talking to you. RedheadedSheHulk at Gmail. debhelfrich.squarespace.com. It would be so much fun to have a conversation with somebody on the same brainwidth, which is much more powerful than bandwidth. Holler.